Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to use two programs to create your labels. This is a great option if you don't have the budget to go on Fiverr.com and pay someone to create labels for you. I've been using Picmonkey for years, so this is great if you're looking for an updated tutorial on how to use this new interface. So here's how it's going to look on Picmonkey when you come in. Of course, I already have things here because I've been using it. So here are the pricing plans. This is what I have, the $7.99 billed monthly. To me, it's totally worth the $8 a month. I use it almost on a daily basis. So I love it. You can use it for Instagram stories. They have all sorts of templates that you can go off of, and they even have a 7-day free trial. So if you want to create labels, just go ahead and do as much as you can within 7 days. Just take advantage of that trial. So I'm going to show you guys what to do from here. So we're going to go to create, and you're going to have a little screen like this. We're going to go to blank canvas since we are just now creating something new. So you're going to have all of these templates. What I do is I just go right up here and hit make it. This 2000 by 2000 pixels is already in here, and I just go ahead and make it. We're going to crop down later, so that doesn't really matter to me. The first thing I do when I come in is I go straight to background color and I hit transparent. So this is going to make it transparent. Your label will look nice and crisp. It's not going to have a white background behind it or anything. It's going to be nice and easy when you go to print everything. And oops, let me click out of that. Let me go ahead and hit apply. So now we have that background. So the next thing, you're going to have all of these different choices here. We have like touch-ups and effects and all of this. So I go to graphics, and this is where I'm going to find my labels. Let me click out of that. And if you scroll down, you have all of these graphics you can choose from. So your labels are actually going to be in the scrapbooky tab, and you will see here labels. I'm going to show you the labels that I use for my latte candles. This is the label that I like. I like this label because the little tabs on the side go around my jars very nicely. It looks nice and cool and crisp. So here we go. I just kind of opened it, or I don't know, do whatever you want with the sizing. You can zoom in and zoom out with this bar or with your mouse wheel. I like to use the mouse wheel. Now, I tend to keep this first color black, and the reason I keep this black is because I like these black outlines here on the outside. I don't like this black on the inside, and I'm going to show you guys how I remove that in the next in the Pixlr program. But I have decided that I want to go with a green, or actually a red for my Christmas tree candle. So I'm going to pick a nice bright Christmassy red. So you can just drag your little, I don't know what this is, drag this around until you have a nice red or whatever color. So let me just pick my color. Alright, so this red looks good to me. I am going to go with this. Okay, so I want to get rid of that black before I move on to anything else. Oops, let me zoom out. I'm going to exit that. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to edits, and I'll go to crop. And this is why I don't mind that 2000 by 2000 size in the beginning, because I just crop it down anyway. So whatever I'm working on, I like to crop everything out except for this. And the reason I do this is when I go back to print my labels, I'm not going to have all this extra blank space around it, so it's not going to mess up the layout of my labels on my whatever file that I'm going to create later to print. So I'm going to go ahead and hit apply, and then we're all cropped. So from here you can actually go to the hub, and the hub is kind of a new feature. So this hub enables you to save your work as you go. So I've already have something saved here. So it's saving that, and you can go ahead and edit the image. And the reason you would like to save it is because you can go back and edit within Picmonkey later. So after you export your file, and say you made a spelling error or you don't like the color or something like that, you can go back to the hub and just start, you know, from where you left off last. So this is a good feature to utilize. So now that I have my label stored in the hub, I am going to go ahead and export this to my computer. And I'm going to label this Christmas label. And I'm going to keep it as a PNG file to keep that transparent background, and then export to computer. Okay, so now that is exported, and sorry if you hear my dog in the background, she's dreaming. Okay, she is sleeping and barking in her sleep. Now we're going to go to Pixlr.com. This is a completely free editor to use. I use this very simply. I don't do too much with it. So I'm going to go to, we're going to open the image that we just saved. So open image from computer. Alright, so here's the image that we want to edit. So I want to edit the background. And I'm not going to go over all of these tools because I honestly don't use all of these tools for what I do. But I do use this wand tool. So we're going to select this wand tool to get rid of this black because I don't want a black label like that. That is too harsh. So just go ahead and click within the black, and you're going to see that it selects all of that black, but it leaves our red deselected, which is cool. So simply hit the delete button and it is gone. Now I go to edit and deselect all, and you're going to see that we have a nice crisp lines here. It looks great. And I also don't like this little fruit whatever stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and go with my eraser tool right here. So eraser, and I'm going to show you all the different brushes that you can use. So I'm going to go with this 100 brush here. I like this nice hard brush here. If you choose one of these, it's going to kind of have this little softer edge, but I want to just erase, so I go with that. So start erasing, and I want to keep all those little dots around the edges. I like those. So I want to erase, and make sure when you're erasing that you get all of it, because sometimes I'll leave like little bits of color and I have to go back and open the file up again and do it. So just make sure you can even zoom in, and you can use the navigator here to kind of move around. So for instance, you see that right there, I missed it, so go ahead and just remove it. So it's good to zoom in and just double check. So I'm going to keep doing that. Remove. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, it looks good. Now that everything looks nice and clean how I want it, I am going to fill it. So I'm going to go with my paint bucket tool, and I want this to be white. So I'm going to go paint bucket, and I'm going to set my main color. So you're going to have a screen that looks like this. I usually go right here. It's a little bit easy for me to get to the white, so you can just click here or this, whatever, to get to the white that I need. So I hit OK, and now my paint bucket will be set to white. And I'm going to just click within that, and there we go. Now we have our label, and it's actually easy to see once you do the white if you left any more little scraps behind. So as you can see there, I need to erase that. So I'm going to go back to my eraser tool and erase, but it's going to erase my white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command Z or Control Z to go back and take that white out. Or you can even go to your history right here and step back one. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean up and make sure everything is cleaned up. And I'm going to go back to my white and just do that again, paint bucket. So let's see, everything looks cleaned up. We look good. Actually, I see more crap. I am just finding more stuff as I go. So is that my screen? Okay, now that is something I need to erase. So I'm going to go back again, go to my erase tool, and just keep doing this till it looks how you want. But to me, this is so much better than having to pay all of that money like for Photoshop. So cool, looks good. Now that I have the label that I want, I'm going to go hit File and Save. And Christmas label, it's a PNG file, transparent, cool. Okay, save it to my desktop. Replace. Alright, now we're going to go back into Picmonkey and finish editing. So we're going to go back to Create, and we're going to open this from our computer. Alright, so we got our Christmas label opened up, looking all nice and spiffy. And I want to go into the text. So let me tell you about text. So with Picmonkey, you have all of the different texts that they provide according to whatever plan that you have. I don't know if all the texts are available in different plans. I know with the free plan, you weren't able to use all of the text, but anyway, you can even upload your own font, which is very, very cool. So this font that you see here, October Twilight, is one that I uploaded, and I get fonts, sorry, it's my phone. I get fonts from defont.com, and I want to just tell you guys, don't just download any font you think is nice and start using it for your products. That's a big no-no. So you see these say free for personal use. So that means if you're going to put it on products that you're going to sell, then you need to go ahead and make sure that you have the right commercial license. So usually when you click a font, you can just download it for free, but make sure, a note from author, that you want to pay the licensing if you're going to start using the font for your business. So that is a tip for you guys. This font that I have, the October Twilight, I paid $8 for the licensing fee, so it's not that big of a deal. The artist needs to make their money as well, so make sure you're going about that the correct way. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hit add text, and using my October Twilight font. So it's already green because I kind of was just working on something, but go ahead and you can hit this button, and you can choose, you can slide down here with the color slider, and then you can choose what spectrum of color that you want. So I'm going to pick this green, and this is going to be called Christmas Tree. And you can slide this around for the sizing, highlight, slide it around for sizing and all of that jazz. And then, like, you see how this is on 2 lines. I want to make it on 1 line so I have room for my logo. So I'm going to just open up this little font, this font box, open it up, and it should transition that to 1 line. So from here, I kind of want to make it even bigger to take up more space on the label. So just play with it until you get what you want. Okay, so I think this is good. Looks nice and pretty. With my labels, I typically like to add a drop shadow effect because it looks cool, but I do not like that fuzzy effect. So what I do is, let me move this out of the way. What I do is I take the fade and I put that all the way down. I take the blur down, I take the horizontal blur down, and now we have this nice crisp drop shadow that I like. So say you don't like the placement of the drop shadow, just go back to it. You can change the angle, the distance, the scale, and all of that business. So I think it looks nice just like this. So we're going to leave that there. The last element is my logo. So you can add your own graphics through Picmonkey. So go to the graphics tab over here and hit add your own. Computer. I went ahead and imported my logo from my files, and that is that, and then you just kind of want to place your logo in there. So let's see how I want mine to look. So let me zoom in so I can place it better. Okay. Alright, so I think everything looks good. I'm going to save this to the hub just in case. So there we go, we've got it saved to the hub, it's updating. I'm going to go back to it, edit image. Alright, so I think everything looks good and I think I'm ready to print. So this is how I create my labels. I usually print my labels in just, if you're using a PC, I just would use Word. Since I'm on a Mac, I use Pages. So what I do is I just bring my labels after I save them. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit export, and it's Christmas label PNG export. So this file is now going to be on my computer, and I can just, when I open Pages, I can simply import this file and just print labels from there onto like a glossy sticker paper. And I use full sheet paper and then I cut it out. And that is how I use Pixlr and Picmonkey to create my product labels.